said my name in chat. Said, "Hey, Patrick."
Oh, you can see that I'm not really reading chat. And it's not because I don't want to. Listen, it's not because I don't want. I'm looking at the chat, but I can't, unless I really strain, I can't make out what's been said. It's just all blurred. If I put my glasses on, but then if I put my glasses on, it makes
Dude,
my eyes weaker. It makes
talking
my eyes
about
feel like they're
glasses,
weaker afterwards.
you got to listen to this. These are glasses I've been wearing for the past maybe over a year now. And I bought these at like this pharmacy place. They're actually reading glasses, right? Like I bought them
Yeah.
for like $30. Okay. So I haven't
Fucking hell, I
actually
paid
really
five.
gotten
I paid five for
you know,
mine. I've
I was
got
just lazy,
reading
man. I just
glasses,
don't
but
go
they
to the
were
fucking
£5.
optometrist, right? So lately I've got inspired to go to the optometrist, right? So I go and I have my exam. The exam costs $130. I'm like, what? You know, it'd been so long. Like the last time I had done an exam, it cost me like $35. So that's how
Yep.
long ago I had an
Yep.
exam for. Now it's like 130. I'm like, whoa. So that's the first thing. So then I choose
Yeah,
a
I'm
pair of
sorry.
glasses.
Do we get refreshments during it now or something? You going to serve up some like nice little amuse bouche and maybe a glass of champagne? 135 fucking. Can you tell me where the value is?
Hold on a second. That's not the worst part. So I spend like 2 hours there choosing a pair. Like I got like like a 2-for-1 for some reason. You know, you got like this other pair. So I chose a pair of sunglasses, and both like not expensive. Like just for the frame, it was like maybe $200, which I found was reasonable, right?
That is actually
So
the most like can be the most if you want to buy, especially if you're getting labeled. I mean, did you get a label frame? Did you get? Is it a is
no, no. I just got like a nice pair that I thought were really cool. They were kind of blue and red, man. I was like, yeah, those are awesome colors for a pair of glasses. So I got these glasses, and so then I with the prescription and everything. So the woman's starting to type everything into the her computer or whatever, the program that tells her what kind of glasses I'm going to be, like what type of lenses I'm going to be using. So she looks at me. She goes, "Well, you're going to be needing these progressive lenses, right? So we have this new technology. You might want to choose what type of lens that you would prefer." So she's showing me these models, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll go. I guess I'll choose that type of lens right there." But this is not knowing the price. So after she's doing this and everything, she calls her other lady friend, which shows up and comes on, and they start talking. She goes, "Well, these ones," and then she goes and she spits out $1,068. So I'm like, I say, wait a minute here. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What did you just say?
I'm really sorry.
I was like, wait, she goes, what is, and now I say to her, I says, "Is that the price of the glasses that I'm buying here?" She goes, yeah.
No, that's just the lenses.
No. I was like the complete price for the lenses and the frames.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are you serious here? They're like, yeah, but you have progressive lenses now. You're older, so in other words, my age, all right, has stepped up the price of lenses, dude. That's the thing.
Hang on,
right?
how old are you?
Because, all right, and I'll explain why. While
How
I
old are
was
you?
I'm 47.
Right,
While
you're
I
the
was
same
in
age as
the
me. We're the same fucking age. Are you telling me? Go on.
yes, listen to this. In the exam, the optometrist, dude, this is what she did to me. And I was like, I was so pissed off when I walked out of there. She looks at me. I was like, okay, I understand. I got the gray beard. I'm getting older. I understand, but I don't feel that much older than when like 10 years ago. I'm like, I feel fine. But dude, listen to this. She's looking at me. She goes, she starts doing like, she puts this big fucking thing in my face and she starts doing this. And she goes, okay. She goes, watch this. I go, okay. He says, read what's on the screen, whatever. So I read whatever's on the screen. And then she goes, okay, when I do this, tell me what happens. So, and then she changes the lens or whatever. And then I go, okay, well, and she says, look at the thing that's closer. Cause like there's a little thing, a little tag that's hooked up to the machine where you can look closer. Right. So she goes, what do you see? I go, well, it's kind of blurry, but it's getting into focus slowly. And she goes, you know what that is? I go, no, what is that? She goes, that's you getting older. I'm like, you fucking bitch. oh, you fucking bitch. She slapped me right in the face right there. It was like, yeah, you're literally, that was a medical, diagnosis telling you that you're aging. And I was like, man. So then I walk out, and because I'm getting older, that's why I need progressive lenses, because these lenses help you refocus your vision from far to close. It readjusts the timing, right? So I don't know how that works out. It's new technology, whatever.
Fucking nanobots in your lenses.
So anyway, I ended up, dealing them down to about $700 some odd dollars, because like you had different choices of technologies or whatever, different types of lenses, and the cheapest one was $700. So I actually took the cheapest one. But man, $1,068 for the top notch model with.
So there's just no point in me going to the optometrist, because
but this is Canadian dollars, and don't forget.
Right, but still, I know that to get my eyes done here is going to cost somewhere between 60 and 100 and something euros to get it done, and then I'm going to probably, let's say I have a similar thing. My eyes are getting up; they definitely are
progressive lenses.
It's really, it's bothering me. I'm putting it down to the malnourishment over the last 4 years, and something that I am absolutely confident that I can just I start eating healthy and and eating a lot again, and I'll be fine, and we'll see. But if I let's say that I need progressive lenses or whatever, dude, I can't afford 50 fucking I can't afford a 50 euro emergency, so
shit.
It's fuck it all, man.
Somebody told me once, had an idea for a minimum amount of investment financially, but a larger amount of investment in time, which would require you to either walk or do long distances with a pouch and flyers, bro. So what that would do is you would go out and actually put, like, let's say you create your own little flyer, go out and have like 500 to 1,000 copies printed out, and then go and hand these things out in parking lots, putting them on car windows and shit, and just, whatever, like just handing them out to people while you're walking down the street and shit like that. So what would that actually augment your viewership and give you like a different type of way to, it's like old fashioned publicity. You know what I'm saying? You bring that back onto the table, and you'd be surprised how much more viewership you'd get. And somebody, it's like somebody had told me about this because they had, spoken out of experience. So they had done it for themselves. And I haven't tried it myself, but I thought it was a fucking really good idea.
Maybe I'm stubborn. This is just, I've always been like this. I've never been able to self-promote. I've just never felt comfortable self-promoting. I've never done it. When I first decided to try and make money from music, it was busking by the beach in Greece, and that was my promotion, was just performing. That that was, I will promote myself by setting up and singing, and I'll sing, if I'm all right to do it, and the police aren't going to turn up and fucking confiscate my
down.
I'll do it anywhere, in front of 100,000 people, if that was the case, but as far as promoting that, like I can't do it. I hate it. I always have done. So when I went to Portugal, the way I got work was I just went to all the restaurants and the bars, and I offered myself my services. First gig for free, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever they wanted, but the first gig for free, and then then negotiate, you know, if they want me to come back. And everywhere I got work, everywhere wanted me to come back, and they say, how much do you charge? And because I know that they're not going to pay what I want, you know, what I'm going to ask for. Because it never works like that. They never agree to pay what you ask them. They always, oh no, we can't do that. You know, so I want 150 euros for a gig, and they'll say, yeah, no, we can only do
What?
60.
Holy shit, that's fucking really cheap, bro. That's like
they'll pay-
$300 Canadian, maybe. That's still, it's cheap, man. When I'd go out, dude, I wouldn't charge under like $500, $600, $700, $800 Canadian.
So unless you've got a full production, you know, with outfits and fucking, if I was to dress up like a girl, if I was to dress up like a woman and do a tranny thing, I could get twice as much money doing that. It's a joke.
But that's,
or to be an Elvis impersonator,
dude,
be an
that
Elvis
is like, yeah, there you go. That's not, it's like, that's the artist, man. It's a concept. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, as long as you're not reading books to children in kindergarten, I'm good.
I don't see anything wrong with that at all. It's just not me. You know, it's not me, man. And I was saying to about it, but like I just can't help but the only person I can be is me. So can't be bothered to try and pretend to be anybody else. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, well, fuck. A difficult ride, isn't it? But I got this far.
Yeah, you know what? We should actually collaborate and write a song.
Yeah, man. I mean, my biggest hang up is lyrics. It's just lyrics, because whatever lyrics I think of just end up. I end up going, nah, that's cheesy, man. It's cheesy as fuck. Nah.
Let me take care of the lyrics. All we have to do is choose a theme, something that actually makes sense, you know, like or pertains to truth at least, you know, like or our current situation. Let's get like a really trending theme. Yeah, something that's awesome, and you know, then we could work on the music. Since your acoustic guitar and playing is phenomenal, and your voice is fucking always on key. I mean, no, man, we pretty much make something pretty awesome. We'd have to work like sending each other emails of the tracks and
sending stems basically. Yeah, just sending email and stems, and it's because I can record. I can basically record something so long as we got the time signature. You know, playing to a click track or something,
right?
And then you just send each stem and you put it into. I don't know what you're using, what software you're using.
I use Cool Edit, which is like a 25-year-old program or something like that. It's like really, really old, but it's so lightweight. And that's why I love using it, because it's a very small program. It's so lightweight that I could freaking make hundreds of tracks on it, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially the computer I'm running. It's like, it's marvelous, right? It doesn't take up any processing power at all. It's just like, it's phenomenal for me. Right, you know, there's all kinds of different recording
it's not all
software out there.
It's not all bells and whistles with visual... Not, you know, nice.
It's, dude, I can share screen. Watch, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. It looks like a freaking Windows 95 or Windows 98 program. Hold on a sec. I can share a screen here.
I use a combination of what's it called? Audacity and
I've worked with that. What is it? QBasic. There you go. This is it. This is Cool Edit right there. Super simple, super easy to use. Here you got some effects. Oh, doesn't show
Yeah,
the
that's
window.
cool, man.
Yeah. It's like totally user friendly. And you get like multiple tracks here. You can put as many tracks as you want.
And have you got? I mean, the good thing about GarageBand, what I like about GarageBand, it's got the AI drummers on it, and so I mean, you can do percussion. You could, and I use my keyboard as a keyboard, right? So I can do percussion, but I can play the bass guitar. You know, it's got all the different instruments, man. You can play them all using the keyboard. So not having the actual instruments. If I had a bass guitar, I'd play the bass.
Right. Well, actually, I try to do all the instruments myself, except for, well, since I don't have a drum, but I do have a Cajun, so I can actually like just use the drum as the
You mean
click
a
track.
cajon? Do you mean a cajon?
Yes, a cajon.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
A wooden box with a snare drum attachment to it.
Exactly.
Snare drum wires attached to a wooden box. The first time I played a cajon, first time I ever came across a cajon was in Portugal, and I made the drummer of our band. I said to him he wasn't allowed to play the drums anymore. He had to just play the cajon, because on the cajon he was really, really good and kept time really well. But on the drum kit, every time he tried to put a fill in, or when he got too overconfident, and he'd mess up the timing every single time. He
I had a
couldn't
drummer like that.
And it's like, dude, listen, you're the most important part of this. The drummer's the most important part. Drum and bass, the drum and bass together, the rhythm, basically the rhythm. It's the most important part of the fucking song. That's why it's funny that drummers get such a hard time.
And I give them a hard time, man. I have a guy that I've been playing music with. He's been a drummer his whole life. Every time we play together, I always end up turning back and looking at him because he fucking he fell off beat, you know, and I can feel it right away, man. I just know, man. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Oh, dude, it's
What?
like being tripped up. You're playing, and it's exactly the same as you're strolling down the street and you feel really good, and somebody just puts their foot out and you fucking trip up and stumble. And that's
exactly
what
how
it
it feels.
like when you're playing, and it's and I just, man, when I was in my 30s dealing with a couple of teenagers and a lad that was like 21 years old, I just, every single time it happened, I'd end up losing my cool, because it happened multiple times in every fucking gig. It's like, look, we really need to get together tomorrow and rehearse. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then
But
tomorrow.
have you ever met?
Have you ever met? We never had a rehearsal. Every gig was essentially just off the cuff kind of rehearsal jam. Go on, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Have you ever met the drummer that actually fits with you? I've met my drummer, like your lifetime drummer, the guy that, you know that when you play with this guy, that it's perfect. You know, it's like, as a guitarist, as a musician, you're my lifetime drummer. If I had to choose, you would be the one.
I can't remember. I mean, I've known and met drummers like that if I could, I'd be like, yeah, dude, you be my drummer. I don't know how I'd get hold of him now. But there was a guy he was the drummer in the main there's sort of the main band in Puerto Colón. Not Puerto Colón, no. What's it called? It's in Portugal, right? But it was in a really swanky part of Portugal, not the wannabe swanky part, Vila Moura. It was Val de Lobo down that way, and he was drummer in this band. They were really good, really, really good band, man. And they would play every Friday night in this bar. He was just fucking. I just stand there, just watching him playing, like the whole gig, just stand and watch him play because it was such a pleasure to watch him play. I love when you watch a drummer and he doesn't miss a fucking beat. He'll do different styles, like, but when you're watching him, he's so into it. He's just like an octopus. Like it's got fucking eight
Yeah,
arms
it's like
going around all over the place, and he knows exactly where they're going, and you see the emotion and the involvement in the expression on their face. It's like Keith Moon, from the Who. Is it Keith Moon? That was his name, wasn't it? The drummer from the Who.
probably I'm not even familiar with that band actually.
One of the best drummers in the world, mate. One of the best. What's his name from Blink 182? The drummer from Blink 182.
I don't know him either, man.
When you watch
I don't
him,
know names of drummer. Lars Ulrich is pretty much like one of the only drummers I know I remember the name of.
Lars Ulrich. I kind of idolized Lars Ulrich. I just desperately wanted a Tamar drum kit, and because I was a drummer. I am a drummer, not practiced at all. I can keep my rhythm is exceptional, and I can keep a rhythm with my hands, like so on bongos or something like that. But percussion. But as soon as I put sticks in my hand, I don't know. I used to be able to play. I can't play as well as I used to be able to play on a real drum kit. I wouldn't mind getting a digital drum kit though. I scoffed. I looked down and I was spat on. I was like, "Fucking digital! It's got to be analog all the way, man. Real drum kits." But then I realized
they've got hybrid models.
So good.
Hybrid models are fucking phenomenal
because it looks like a drum kit, but it's all rubber, But the sound is impeccable. And and the best thing about it, and where I saw the value, is that you can turn the fucking thing down. And you can play a quiet gig. It doesn't have to be fucking, because that's the thing about a real drum kit is it puts like the volume goes boom, has to be really loud if you're going to use a real drum kit.
You've just actually pointed out the difference between an actual drummer and somebody who just fucking makes noise. All right, an actual drummer will know how to hit the snare or the toms, the skins of any of these parts of his drums with the right intensity, with the right volume control.
Right.
A real drummer will know that,
so
he'll know how to hold his own volume.
For the drummer, dude, for the sake of the drummer, if you're playing a gig in a venue where it can't be too loud because they've got sound limiters that cut the music off as soon as it goes over certain decibels, which is what they've got in Portugal. So getting the drummer to play a quiet set every time is desperately frustrating for the drummer, because especially if they're really into it, the expression, if they're playing deliberately quietly, if you're having a really good set, it's difficult not to get into it and just forget. And it gets louder and louder and louder, and the drums get a little bit louder, so the guitar gets a little bit louder, so the singing gets a little bit louder, and it just creeps up, and then suddenly, boom, oh shit, we got cut off.
But that's why you need, in the band, you need the director who knows that's happening,
But you need the producer sat there on the desk, bringing it down, basically, giving more fold back to the drummer so that he doesn't need to hit. I don't know, but anyway, hold on
a sec. A trick that we would use is we'd put the drummer behind a plexiglass, so he would hear himself much better, and we'd put a monitor in the booth with him so he could hear us. So that would help us, because then it would reduce the sound, and then we wouldn't want to have to bring up our volume so we can hear ourselves. So that would help.
So I'm just thinking about some of the venues that I've played in. When you've only got a space like that's this 5x5 or sort of little square on that, and you've all got to squeeze onto that little square. And so you got the drums here and the bass guitars here. The fucking bass guitarist like nearly knocking your face off. With the
You're
end of his
sitting
song.
on your amp because there's no room to sit anywhere else.
Just basically, what I'm saying is that these modern digital drum kits they're fucking brilliant because a real drummer could sit there and smash it out, but you can turn the volume right down. So we could be practicing some real heavy, hard shit in his living room, in his complex, just with earphones on. You can sit there and play.
All right, hold on. Let me dip into this. Can you imagine somebody walking by that apartment and hearing nothing but a bunch of clicking and popping, and it sounds like some people are playing dice in there or something? Like there are 5 people typing all together or whatever.
Dude, basically, I've seen it. It's like when I watched the guy that used to come and play with me, the drummer that would come and play with me sometimes in Portugal when I went solo. He had a digital drum kit, and I'd sat there and watched him playing with it just with the earphones on, and it sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, but there's still timing. You can still hear the timing in it. Is it? Or none of the hi-hat sounds, but yeah, it's just wood hitting rubber. Wood hitting rubber.
Or plastic.
Basically. Yeah.
All right, so I want you to imagine the 911 call that the neighbor sends in. I'm not sure what they're doing over there, but it sounds like they're trying to build an IKEA shelf with too many screwdrivers.
Neil Peart. Who was Neil Peart? A drummer, I'm imagining.
What was Def Leppard's drummer's name?
Oh, God.
He was
He gets all
phenomenal,
of
man.
Yeah,
He was awesome, dude.
So proud. I'm so proud of the fact that Def Leppard is an English band. It was
Dude,
English
how on
He only
God's
has
green
one
earth?
fucking arm.
I was thinking, say, how on God's green earth do you learn to drum and become a professional, and then lose an arm, take 6 months off, and come back and be like, no, I'm going to do this, and then do
And
it.
actually be a better drummer than he was before when he had 2 arms. It was like, what?
Imagine if he had thought of using his feet the way he did afterwards before.
Hey.
Dude, he could have changed. He did change rock and roll forever, but he could have made an entirely new genre of music that doesn't even exist, because he could both what is it called? He could up tempo and down tempo in the same set.
He was the one who was the father of hybrid electronic drums. So the concept comes from his drum. Because he's the one, like Van Halen came up with his own guitars and his own sounds and all that shit. Well, that the drummer of Def Leppard was the same type of engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who came up with his own drum and then spawned the electronic drum revolution afterwards.
But could you imagine if he had been sitting around one night, I got an idea, dude. Listen, I'm going to get rid of my drum set, right? Then I'm going to set it up so that I can use my feet on all the drums and my drumsticks on all the drums. And then we're going to hook it to a synthesizer. Can you see this?
And then and then instead of drum sounds, man, we can make it fart sounds.
You make the Mario woohoo sound. It doesn't matter. You can do anything you want with it. I know a guy. I think you've met him. 00. Jake from Untethered Live.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That guy is really hard to explain for 2 reasons. One, he's a really short-sighted and self-centered individual, and so everything he thinks, says, and does all revolves around him and what he's doing and what's going on, which we all are to an extent. That's not me throwing shade.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
just saying,
all a little bit narcissistic.
He's a little
Yeah,
more
but-
though.
I mean,
There's a reason. When he was a child, someone handed him a one of those like little crappy Casio keyboards. He was like 6 or 7 or something. And he went blank, 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 ooh, and then played the intro. I think it was to Alf,
right.
just something he had heard. Had never touched a keyboard in his life and went blink, blink, blink. Oh, I know how this works. Blah, 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 blah. And from there on, I sat and watched this man play the engine compartment of a Subaru. No, it was a Datsun 210. He sat there with 2 random sticks outside of a Waffle House, outside of Augusta, playing the parts of this engine, waiting for for it to stop being flooded or whatever he was waiting on. He was like, do, 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 and he attracted a crowd and didn't notice it till he was done. And he turns around, looks at her, the hell y'all stared at? He didn't know they just snuck up on him and it spooked him. So he was just like, what are y'all doing? And I was just sitting there doing this the whole time. I was like, why can't you bottle that, dude? And it's the other side of the personality. If he could just be that guy, he would be a millionaire 10 times over. But because the other part of his personality intrudes into his genius, it taints the whole river, if you get what I'm saying. It's really hard to sit down and have a conversation with him because, like I said, everything revolves around what he's currently thinking in his head, and it may be different day after tomorrow. So it's real hard to have a linear kind of conversation because today he's a young earth Christian scientist, and tomorrow he's a bargain basement flat earther, and the next day he'll be talking about the orbital dynamics of the Zoroastrians or whatever. It's really hard to have a linear layered conversation because he only does one thing at a time, although he does that one thing at a high level.
Absorbs himself into it.
Up, Snarky. Welcome in, girl.
Creep Mary, how you doing? Gary Baxter, Guy Fawkes, Alva Billy, Sylvie, Melanie. Shout out to Sasquatch's chat as well. Joe
Yeah,
Cole, Johnny Denicole.
John Denicola, baby. Welcome to the show.
Denicola.
We got Snark and Sass. She's also about 15 other freaking
Snark and
profiles.
Sass.
on
I know
YouTube.
Snark and Sass.
Yeah, Snark and Sass is great. She got so mad at me, dude. When I met her after about 10 minutes, I said, wow, this woman's just a natural born troll. She don't even know she's trolling. She's just having a good time thinking that's perfectly normal activity, but it's not. So I get her backstage, talk to her. I was like, when did you decide to become a troll? She's like, I'm not a troll. And got mad and didn't talk to me for a while. And then eventually she realized that she was sitting in somebody's chat under another profile talking trash with herself and went, maybe he's got a point. So she comes back and is like, how'd you know I was a troll? I said, are you joking? You talk like you're from Arkansas in every single one of these personalities. Profiles, but they all say exactly the same stuff. They are right down the rail what you think. So I mean, you're being funny and ironical about it, but the irony tells me who you are. So like when she creates a new channel, it's to her, it's a challenge to see how long it takes me to figure out who it is. So she come in on one and I was like, I know that person. He'd never been seen here before, but I know who that is.
Video Game Guna. Hey, gentlemen, let me know if I need to come up.
What's up, Dandy Pickle? P Fletch 83. I don't get a chance to say hey to P Fletch 83 often enough. You see, every time he shows up, there's usually something really cool going on in the panel, and so, I'm like, hey, I want to interact,
man. Thank God, there's nothing really cool going on in this panel right now.
Right, I get that. Yeah, fuck you. That's pretty good.
Right. My browser has crashed. There we go. Everything's frozen.
We'll hold it down. Just do your thing, dude.
I will be right back.
All right.
What we've got here is a failure to browser 8.
Damn it. Just when I needed to go to the washroom.
I'll go ahead, dude. I'll tell bad blind jokes until you get back.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good.
Now that I have absolutely control of everything on the channel, I shall now take over the world. Right after breakfast. I'm a little hungry. What's up, Porto Farmer? Welcome in, Bud Truism, the Storm Crow. Appreciate you coming by. Oh, I didn't even see you, Video Game Gooner. I thought you were in his chat. Cool. That's cool. You're going to get the participation trophy for the moment until somebody better comes along, because Video Game Gooner 58 is kind of funny to me. That humors me enough to get a participation trophy. Now, there's only one available at a time, and I give them out kind of randomly depending on how they tickle my pickle, if you get my drift. And I'm not talking about Andy Pickle. I don't want you to go tickle Andy's pickle, or Andy Pickle for that matter. Bang. Gar Samuelson was the original drummer for Megadeth. You know, see, here's the thing. I had a buddy of mine who was a drummer, and he knew all of this stuff. And so all of these names ring bells. I'm aware that they're drummers. That's about all I know. I couldn't tell you which band they played for or nothing, because like Russell would spend hours going over like, well, this drummer, he invented this, he started that kind of thing, and this one over here was the first one to do these things, and yada, yada, yada.
Here we go. I can't hear nothing.
I have bad news. My daughter was just accepted into a facility for higher learning. She's going to college, which means she'll be one of those blue-haired liberals pretty soon. But given that she's a pink-haired liberal currently, I don't think that's going to be. I don't even think that's going to be a problem.
What's she going to go and study?
She's starting for cosmetology, but she hasn't really settled on it.
Cosmetology,
like this technical school is to round out your core classes before you actually go to a 4-year degree, and you've got to have some sort of applicable skill set before you leave school.
Yeah, right.
What's up, DM Foss? I haven't seen you up this day, man, bro. You need to email me. You need to talk. I've learned some things, and I think you can benefit from what I've learned.
Congratulations to your daughter and to you.
Absolutely. That's actually my second one I put out, graduated from high school. So, yay.
That's pretty cool, man. I dropped out of college, and then I dropped out of university.
They had to kick me out. And even then, I attempted to sue to stay in normal school. They wanted to put me into a alternative study program that had no value whatsoever to my scholastics. And they wanted me to do that for a year. And then after that, come back and get my last credit. I already had all the credits I needed, but A, you have to finish the year. And B, if you're going to take a year, you have to take at least half the year, and you have to earn at least one credit, right? That way you get to walk and you get your diploma and put your hat on, throw it in there and all that stuff. And I was like, all I want is the diploma. I'm not after walking. I don't care about none of that stuff. I don't want a clash ring. Y'all suck. I'm not coming back here ever again. Y'all all can go straight to the Munchausen's house. I don't care. And they decided that in order for me to come back, I had to do a year in alternative school and get one more credit, which means they basically took my graduation and subtracted a credit from it and told me I had to come back in 2 years to get this credit. But first you have to do a year over here. And I went, you do realize I can go outside and like flag down a truck and get a job, right?
That's it. It's like, yeah, okay, man.
You know what I did? What actually happened? My mom got so mad about the results of that. When she got home from that whole debacle, she looked me straight in the face. She said, "You want to go get your GED?" I said, "When can I do it?" She said, "Monday." I said, "All right." Weekend went by, went up there Monday morning bright and early, did an 8.5-hour test in 4 hours, and broke for 20 minutes in the middle for a game of basketball with the teacher, with the guy giving the test, because everyone else was still busy and I was done. He was like, let's go outside. Did a couple of rounds of one-on-one, played some horse and some 21. With my kid, he's like, you can come back tomorrow and next week and do the other half of these tests. It's a really stressful thing. I was like, dude, listen, I don't need to do that. Can we just go ahead and knock this? Can you grade it today before I leave? He said, if you finish it soon enough, sure. And I was like, great. Absolutely fantastic. I left with a printed out copy, like a Xerox type copy with signatures in it of a diploma. And then they mailed me the real one later. What's up, AAP? I've been wondering about you for a minute, bro. You've been off the radar for a second there, or at least off my radar. And suddenly you popped up in my feed yesterday, and I watched that live stream you had where you're wandering around in the yard. I mean, I like the place. It's nice. I dig that place. I wish I had something kind of similar. Nice. Could be very, very nice with a little work. That man got a small army of children over there, but if he could harness them like mules, he'll build a kingdom. Freaking dynasty. I'm telling you, man, he's a dangerous man. The thing is, he's not so much personally dangerous as he is that the people he knows can become offended that he was offended or something. I don't know how to explain it. Like he could be like, man, he says stuff that upset me. And next thing you know, there's this gaggle of flying monkeys flying around the internet wanting to know why you said something negative. And he didn't even mean nothing by it. He was just like, oh, well, I didn't really like that. And moved on with the conversation. No smoke, no nothing. And they're like, Rear! I'm like, dude, I love that guy.
Yeah. The thing is, right, there's part of me that appreciates the loyalty. And I would like to think that I've got viewers loyal who, like, if need be, would say something, but flying monkeys, man, what a fucking nightmare.
Dude, flying monkeys are the funniest thing I've encountered on YouTube.
That's the real thing as well, though. It's crazy.
So
and when you get hit by a swarm of them, like,
we got to learn how to just let that shit roll off your back, man. You've got to have a tough skin in this business.
No, because then it's fun. Then it's just whack-a-mole or whack-a-troll. They pop up and the mods are on it straight away, and it's like, wow, how many? Because I know there's probably only about 2 teenagers sat there doing it. So, how many?
Really bored Reddit troll? Yeah.
Just lots of soccer accounts, man.
My first experience with flying trolls came out of I can't remember what his channel is right now. He's killed so many channels. He's killed more channels than Cecil B. DeMille killed men. It was Cognificent, Cognitive Talks, Cognitive Robot, Uncognis, I believe, was another one. Anyway, he did a bunch of channels, and they've almost all been smoked from orbit. But he all right, so he has a group of flying monkeys that are constantly trying to get him, and another group of flying monkeys that are kind of halfway either trolling him or supporting him, and I'm unsure which. You can never quite pin it down with those guys. They don't seem to be in support of anything at all, and yet here they are backing up some dude who just laughs at people on the internet. Inspired my whole channel. He really did. You can see it when you go look at my early stuff. I got things set up on the screen almost identical to his, but all different colors and everything. I even used his music as my intro tune for the longest time until he finally monetized and got everything working in his favor, And I hit him up. I was like, dude, I was using that song. He's like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. He's like, let me see what I can do about that. Nope, there's nothing I can do about that. They're not even going to talk to me about it. I was like, okay, fine.
So what you could just get copyright on it.
Every single show that I used it, because it was my theme song for almost a year, and he was cool with it, and I talked to him and chat about it, and we hammered out what we were going to do if either one of us ever got big on that tune. We'd freaking remember each other and stuff. And
I haven't ever copyrighted anyone, and I don't think that.
Well, no, it wasn't him.
What cracks me up, man. It's been more than one totally original song with a totally original video filmed by myself, and somebody else has copyrighted.
Right? Bro, I got one of yours. I've copyrighted you unintentionally. I don't do it. YouTube does it once you branded something, right? And it was a Conspiracy Theory, I think is the name of the song. Or Conspiracy Music, maybe. Anyway, it's I got it right over here. Where's it at?
Wow. A sea of garbage.
Every day, I'm just getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
Lorenzo will give you the details.
A few moments later.
What are the humans doing? Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth?
Yeah, I know on that. Yeah.
So the way I ended up with that is because you uploaded it one of your channels that got nuked, and then I played it, used it for like an intro on a live stream, and then the channel got nuked, and then you uploaded it to the new channel, and it caught a copyright. And I happened to be backstage with you one day, and you were like, "I got a freaking copyright," and I think it was from you, Sasquatch. And I was like, "How?" And after talking it out, we realized YouTube copyright system utilizes earliest upload date of a particular work, right? And since that channel got nuked and it just sweet spotted right through, I happened to use it that night, and then it was nuked the next day, and the next day you uploaded it to something else. It hung on mine, and I was like, dude, whatever you need me to do, I could release that. However, that I don't know how or what we had to do to make that happen, but
Care about it. It's not like if you as a result in some way, or like if there was money involved and you got rich, then maybe I'd be like, or maybe you could chuck a few bucks this way. But it's not like that's what's going on, is it? It's a fucking, it's a tune, and
it's a tune, and I like it, and everybody in my chat loves it. And what blows my mind with Trixie, and I guess I shouldn't be so surprised by this, but it really does baffle me. Flow State found me on your channel. And then later was like, so how do you get all the stuff on your channel? And I was like, well, I mean, some of it's sent in by viewers, some of it's done by previous guests, some of it, it's from all over the place. A lot of it I just sit down and brain up, but it's just all over the place, right? And he's like, okay, so where'd you get your theme song? I was like, Double O. Really? I was like, yeah. I mean, if you go hang out long enough and they're inspirational, you'll end up with one. Just give him a second. Let him cook. And it wasn't 2 weeks later, he was using a Flow State song that and I love that tune, dude. That is awesome.
I just love what he did with the video, like with the Jesus Christ, that guy, man.
I went in and I did a second edit on the video of that, and I used Techno Viking in with it.
Yeah. I saw that
Techno Viking, some dancing kids,
Yeah. It's Flow showed it. Yeah. I was just because I didn't do it. I didn't really can't remember what I did with the video. I don't think I didn't even make a video. I just sent him the MP3, I think. I can't remember. Can't remember how it works. But anyway, that's my
Really
thing,
big
man.
tune. I love that groove.
Did you hear my "Stop Getting Shot" mix?
Wait, what? I guess not.
Shit! I've been shot. I don't fucking believe this. Could everyone stop getting shot? Shit! I've been shot. Could everyone stop getting shot? Shit! I've been shot. Could everyone stop getting shot? You tight as a fucking air rifle. Ah! Shit! I've been shot. I don't fucking believe this. Could everyone stop getting shot? Sit down and patch yourself up. You tight as a fucking air rifle.
What up, Dennis?
What the fuck was that?
Yeah. Being here. AAP, I don't know if I actually put
Sit
your
down
name,
and
but
patch yourself up.
AAP.
You tight as a fucking air rifle. Don't point at me, boss. Point it in there. Ah! Shit. I've been shot. Planks of wood. I'm working with fucking planks of wood. Shit. Fuck is that? What the fuck's that? Don't none of you snakes move! I'll kill the fucking lawyer! Who you gonna kill, Plank? There's no one fucking there.
I fucking love it, man. It's lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I love that series. That whole
Use the
Snatch.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, you mean the franchise.
The franchise, yeah. Well, Lock, Stocks, Two Smoking Barrels. I watched that when I was waiting on some guy to show up with some stuff, and it was very fortuitous that this happened to be playing because I was like waiting at someone's house that didn't know me, and they weren't home. And the guy I was with was like, "Nah, it'll be cool. Just hang out here." And he reached over and hit the button on the TV and was like, "Check this out." 2 hours later, I am messed up as a field rat, and I still have it left. And I realize I've got to drive home. Like, I'm supposed to be driving home. Thank God I dropped off Tony down the freaking road, and he hadn't been here because I'm gonna walk down the block and go get him to come get my truck, and then he's gonna take me home. That's what's gonna happen, and that's exactly the way that went. I watched what is it? The Waking Life. Have you seen that?
No.
Bro, that shit's right up your freaking alley, dude. You would love it, I swear. It's not a linear film. It's a dream state depiction, right? And so what's going on is this guy wakes up in the morning and it's done, what do they call it? Rotoscope type animation.
Right.
Where they use the film to make the animation by hand. Right. And so they have like 20 different animators that come through and did it. And so, and 2 or 3 or 5 different editors came and did bits. And so it's more like an anthology, but it's not done from the perspective of an anthology. It's done from the perspective of a dream. And so you get clips in there from like World War II, bits of radio dialogue from P-51s, bits of there's a full Alex Jones rant in the middle of it, completely out of context. It's a wild ride. And I was on mushrooms and went into this chick's house, and we were supposed to be coming in and getting like we were getting like a freaking end table or something. Someone had bought something. We were supposed to pick it up and deliver it. And we walked in and the Waking Life had just started. And I'm just along for the ride, right? I just get sucked into this movie. And the next thing I know, we've been there 2 hours and everybody's shooting shots. And I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
We're not even supposed to be here. We were supposed to stop here and then go by the shop, drop off that thing, and go pick up another thing while I did mushrooms. That was the plan, right? They were like, "Oh well, we got distracted." They had to call their boss and be like, "No, we're not coming back to work. We're all hammered." Luckily, I didn't work for that guy. He did. I wasn't even getting paid. I was just along for the ride to get home.
Right, peeps. It's like 25 to 5. If I'm going to get my guitar out, I better do it. Like, I better do it because I'm running out of time when it's good for me to play, or when I feel comfortable playing and belting it out. And I know I've got people waiting for music, and my brain's kind of slowed down and stopped now. It says we've only been going for an hour and 17 minutes, but I went live. What time did I actually go live?
I don't know, but it went black on us.
Yeah, I went black, and it was black for a while as well before we even fucking realised. Because it was all going fine. It said live up in the corner with no idea that
It's
it
all
was,
out. That's when it happened. When StreamYard kicked all three of us out, we all rejoined, and after that, it was black and nothing else happened. That was when it went.
Yeah. Well, lads, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to get
Absolutely.
my guitar.
Let me.
You can stop your stream or whatever. Sus.
Let me check some statistics in the stream, and then we'll see whether I leave it up or take it down. I have experiments I'm running all the time, so I have to know.
Oh, I need to get a refreshment.
Do that thing. OTW.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Don't lie to me. I'm fugly as they come, bro.
You're funny
I
and ugly.
Thank you for jumping up, buddy. And
Yep.
that track, that track is weird because it's like, it's good. It's really good. I don't, like I said, I don't agree with it in what's being said, but it's still done and it's said well. So yeah, and I think that he'll laugh and he probably likes it and respects it as well. As a good tune, well done. Yeah, nice one, man. Thanks for jumping up.
All right,
So
man.
I'm just gonna get just gonna go off camera so I can get a drink.
All right. If ever you want me to, pump out a improvise guitar solo, to help out with the entertainment, I could do that too.
What do you mean? On a live stream? Do you mean, or on a what do you mean?
Well, I'm kind of set up where I could play a guitar live,
Because we can't play together live because of the lag.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
know
lag
that,
would
but-
kill you.
Look, here, I'll give you an example. Here, hold on a sec. Just get this thing going. Click here. No, not that. This. So let's say I'm just going to play a little bit here. Tell me if the sound's coming in good.
Do you have the time?
Yeah, man, that's coming through.
Does that
Yeet.
sound good?
Yeah. Sounds better than my track.
Like if I was to jam along with it, it would be because of the lag, and it's only it's like a second or whatever because of the
it depends.
lag.
Hold on a sec. Actually, we've discovered, through the experience that I have with StreamYard, we've discovered a way to actually limit it, the latency to it's like almost undetectable.
Yeah, that's what I mean, latency.
Yeah. So what happens is in your StreamYard, you have to take off your echo cancellation, right? And all of those little things, those little boxes, you have to uncheck them all, right? And put your volume.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Right. Put your volume completely at 100%, right? Especially when you're playing tracks. And there's not just that. In your Windows settings, your recording settings in Windows or whatever program you're using, you have to set it to the recording to 70 or 80 or somewhere around there, because sometimes it's very low and that's why you're getting clipped out or
So my volume setting comes from the PV basically. The PV going into the Yamaha. The PV sets the level of the backing track, and that I can set the level of the backing track in the desk, but the signal from the desk to the Yamaha, which is the main audio interface,
Right.
and where I'm getting my earphones from, that all comes from the
Well, here.
from the TV main switch. But
You want me to show you? Look, look, hold on a sec. Like everything goes into that thing right there. Everything's plugged in. My guitars, mics, whatever I need is plugged there. Goes through that noise gate compressor, okay, and then goes into this little thing here, which is plugged directly into the PC.
yeah, that's
Right.
your interface
Via USB,
That's your audio interface.
Right. So,
So
I've
you're
got
doing,
a
you're
pan.
doing exactly the same thing. You've got more inputs on your audio interface, but
I also
yeah.
have a virtual patching bay where I can
Yeah, but
individually
you're
patch.
using Microsoft, aren't you?
Yeah,
Hello,
I'm
live
using
voice
Windows.
in your manner.
You're using Microsoft, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm using Windows. Microsoft
Yeah, I don't
Windows.
have those options with Mac. It goes to. I could pay for it. I could pay for a software audio interface, but like oh god, what's it called?
See, and I got everything plugged in through my guitar here, like this one here. All I have to do is grab it, bring up the volume, and I'm ready to go. Or usually I'm ready to go.
Would do it another time, dude. I'm not. Yeah, we'll do it another time. Definitely. We'll. I'm not convinced about the latency because every single time I've ever done it with anybody, the only time there's been no latency was doing it on Signal, on the Signal app, and I was jamming with somebody in Australia.
Wow. Well, I did it with you remember Freedom Grower, right, Dick? Well, anyway, I did it with him, and I have it on OTW Music and Art live streams, and you can go listen to it, and it sounds great, man. It's like, and he was actually I was playing the track, and we were going back and forth, I was playing a part, he was playing a part, and it actually worked out pretty good.
If you want to, dude, I'm just going to play, right? And if you want to accompany with some lead guitar, and the thing is like setting the levels between me and you.
Right. Well, that all you would have to do is go into your StreamYard settings and turn my volume to the level where it would actually.
But the only way for me to check that is to hear what's actually being transmitted, because I'm not hearing what's being transmitted. What I'm hearing now is not what the audience is hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know that.
I know because I've watched my streams back, and I listen to my streams, and I'm like, it doesn't sound the same as it does in my ears when I'm doing the stream. Always sounds, the levels are different,
Right. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I get it. But when I listen to it on YouTube and from StreamYard, let's say I did it just now, you sound pretty much the same. Like the sound difference isn't very big between StreamYard and YouTube.
Give me your guitar. Let's hear some of your guitar then, dude. OTW, if you want. Excuse me a second. I'll just have to cut my nails. very quickly. I don't realise that they need cutting until I sit there and I play my guitar and I'm like, I definitely need to cut my nails. ASMR.
Baby, when I met you, there was peace I knew. Said to get you with a fine-tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on. You did something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Every beat of my heart, we got something going on. Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love we feel, it's no conversation. We ride it together, making love with each other. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How could we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. I can't live without you if the love was gone. Everything is nothing if you got no one. You're walking the night, slowly losing sight of the real thing. But that won't happen to us if we got no doubt. Too deep in love and we got no way out. The message is clear. This could be the year for the real thing. No more will you cry, baby, I will hurt you never. We started and there's one in love forever. We can ride it together, making love with each other. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. Sail away, away with me. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another.
That was for Mel. That was for Mel. That was. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Flow State? How you doing, buddy? By the way, Patrick, the reason when I turn off my echo cancellation, because I'm using loopback into my audio interface, so I can use, I can use my soundboard and everything. It means that it will echo whatever it is that you do is going to come through my mic a second time. We're not going to be able to do it, dude. I'm not just being a cunt about it. It's just because of the loop back on my Yamaha AG03. We can do it, and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, that was for Mel and Heidi, that first one. I am going to have to actually, on that note, I'm going to have to switch off my echo. What did that sound all right? If it sounded all right, then I won't switch I don't need to switch the echo cancellation off. But if it sounded funny or if it was clipping,
we'll trip on my two favorite allies. Fully loaded, we got snacks and supplies. It's time to leave, it's time to steal away. Oh, let's go get lost anywhere in the USA. Let's go get lost, let's go get lost. Blue, you sit so pretty, we'll stop the one. Sparkle light with yellow, I see just a mirror for the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. These smiling eyes are just a mirror for me. So much has come before, these battles last and won. This life is shining more forever in the sun. Now let us check our heads, let us check the surf. Staying high and drives more trouble than it's worth in the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. These smiling eyes are just a mirror for me. Right, I'm going to turn that echo cancellation off. In the mixture, we take some time to linger on. We three hunky-dory's got our snake finger on. Now let us drink the stars, it's time to steal away. Oh, let's go get lost anywhere in the USA. Let's go get lost, let's go get lost. Blue, you sit so pretty, we'll stop the one. Sparkle light with yellow, I see just a mirror for the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. Just a mirror for the sun. These smiling eyes are just a mirror for. These smiling eyes are just a mirror for. Your smiling eyes are just a mirror for. we go. Right, it is better with the echo cancellation off, isn't it? Thank you for letting me know, guys, by the way. Claire, how you doing? Angela Baby Carson, I have not seen you for ages. What say Lou? AAP Homestead, those people that are in, those people that are on Sasquatch's channel. Awesome, man, awesome. Thank you for being here. He's kept it playing, so. Deals with cards as a meditation. And those he plays you never suspect. He doesn't play for the money he wins. He don't play for respect. He deals the cards to find the answer. The sacred geometry of chance, the hidden law of a probable outcome. Numbers lead it down. Know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. Know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. They play the jack of diamonds. He may lay the queen of spades. He may conceal a king in his hand, while the memory fades. Know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. Know that the clubs are weapons of war. Know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. And if I told her that I loved you, you may think there's something wrong. I'm not a man with too many faces. The best I wear is one. Those who speak know nothing, find out to their cost that those who curse their luck in too many places, those who feel lost, know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart.
Hold on. It should be ready now. There we go.
Oh, it's too kind. Thank you very much.
We like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, don't we?
Psychic spies are trying to steal your mind's elation. Little girls of sweet and dream of silver square quotations. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication. It's the edge of the world and all the western civilizations. The sun may rise in the east, at least it settles in the final location. It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. Yeah. They serves you very well to break the spell of aging. Do this generous step for you preaching. Firstborn in a corn, because I'm born. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Yeah. Referring to the world, be my very own constellation. Teenage spot with the baby inside, getting high on information. 5-year star on the boulevard, it's Californication. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Cobain can't hear the spirit sing songs of station to station. Now the round's not far away, it's Californication. Being raised by those who praise control the population. Everybody's been there and I don't need a vacation. Hardcore, fucking up. Hardcore softball. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Destruction leads to a barrel flow, but it also breeds creation. An earthquake's tied to a girl's guitar, they're just another good vibration. Tidal waves couldn't save the world from Californication. May the surgeon very well to break the spell of Beijing. Sick from the wrist, there is no test. This is what you're craving. Welcome to the porn. I'll call soft porn. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication.
One second. Melanie, I insist you get something fattening for dinner. I need to eat something fattening on a regular basis, but I don't get fat. I don't put fat on. I need protein. Yeah. I could get a takeout or get a burger. Burgers are expensive now, man. It's like 16 euros for a burger now. Fucking 16. It's like a steak. Might as well buy a steak. Oh, yeah. But thank you, sweetheart. Hang on. Where is it? Here we go.
Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate.
Thank you very much. For those that don't know, anybody that's listening that doesn't know, if you're on Sasquatch's channel, YouTube will not monetize. Actually, no, here you go. All right, here we go. I got a thing for it, innit? YouTube doesn't want to help me or let me monetize my channel so that I can have memberships and super chats and all those other lovely things. But you can still help me with PayPal or alternatively TipeeeStream. Links can be found in the description.
On Sunday, I've got a lot of things to learn. Said I wouldn't, I'll be leaving one day before my heart starts to burn. So what's the matter with you? Sing me something new. Don't you know the cold and wind and the rain don't know, only seem to come and go away. Times are hard when things have got no meaning. I found a key upon the floor. Maybe you and I would not believe in the things we find behind the door. So what's the matter with you? Sing me something new. Don't you know the cold and wind and the rain don't know, only seem to come and go away. Stand by me, nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me, nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me, nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me, nobody knows. No, nobody knows the way it's gonna be. If you're leaving, will you take me with you? I'm tired of talking on my phone. There is one thing I can never give you. My heart will never be your home. So what's the matter with you? Sing me something new. Don't you know the cold and wind and the rain don't know, only seem to come and go away. Hey, hey, yeah, stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Yeah, stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me. Nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Yeah, yeah, the way it's gonna be. Oh, maybe I can see. Yeah, don't you know the cold and wind and the rain don't know, only seem to come and go away. Hey, hey, yeah, stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me. Nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me. Nobody knows. Yeah, God only knows the way it's gonna be. Do you like Oasis?
Cheers, much obliged.
Get down! No, you can't do this. That's it.
That amp is pathetic. You couldn't amplify a fart through that.
Just imagine, I could have just dumped in the same bog as Eric Clapton, or Mick Jagger, or Lemmy, or Ozzy Osbourne. Who has been here? Bananarama.
Right. Sorry about that. Got to tune up, man.
Not to get to anywhere, we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. The place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. The thing about self, got nothing to prove. You have that scar, and I got a plan to get us out of here. Been looking at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. You wanted to go too far. Just crossed the border and into the city. You and I could both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. Yeah. See, my old man's got a problem. He lives with a bottle, that's the way he is. He said his body's old working. Said his body's too young to look like this. My mama went out, she left him. She She wanted more from life than he could give. Said somebody's gotta take care of him. I quit school, that's what I did. You get a fast car, is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or ever die this way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So remember we were driving your car. Speeding so fast I felt like I was drunk. And the city lights see out before us. And your off-road nights swept around my shore. And I had a feeling that I belong. I had a feeling like I could be someone, be someone, be someone. Could be someone. The fattest car. We got a job ourselves. You still ain't got a job. I work in the market as a checkout boy. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a big house and live in the suburbs. Birds, 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 birds. So remember we were driving your car. Speeding so fast I felt like I was drunk. And the city lights see out before us. And your off-road nights swept around my shore. I had a feeling that I belong. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. Be someone, be someone. You get a fast car. Got a job that pays all our bills. Say that drink and live at the bar. See more of your friends than you do of your kids. Always hope for better. So maybe together you and me would find it. I ain't got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take a fast car, keep on driving. I remember we were driving your car. Speeding so fast I felt like I was drunk. And the city lights see out before us. And her off-road nights swept around my shore. And I had a feeling that I belong. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. I could be someone, be someone. You in a fast car, fast enough so you can fly away. You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or ever die this way. Yeah, tonight or ever die this way. Oh.
Right. Because I was streaming for a couple of hours before I even started playing, I deserve a quick break to roll a cigarette. I'm knackered. I'm knackered. And turn this fucking camera off. I'll bring Sasquatch back just in case he's about. I don't know if he is. Oh, he is. There he is. There he is. Hang on, let me switch me. I'd switch that and it should help that. And I'll switch that off as well. There we go. And we'll echo. Oh.
Better.
Can hear you.
What's happening now?
Oh, it's very loud. Very, very loud.
All right.
Very loud. Strange noises.
Loud noises. I love lamp. I love lamp.
I got to do it.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
You jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart.
I saw that. Brick killed a guy. Did you throw a trident?
Yeah, there were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident.
Brick, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You should find yourself a safe house or a relative close by. Lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder.
Love that movie.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It is amazing. It's amazing because of the performances that came out of the individuals as a group. Right?
Yeah, they bounced off each other well. They did bounce off each other well, man. And you can tell the bits that were done that were sort of like the improv bits that where they did just bounce off each other, like with a face off in the park when they fight like two rival gangs or something. The insults and that they're chucking at each other.
Dorothy Badtooth is a saint. Yeah, I find it weird when you have YouTubers. Now, I understand a YouTuber who starts a homestead and is filming his homestead is probably not going to be overflowing with sparkling wit and repartee, right? But I don't understand people that can't ad lib off the hip sometimes. Like sometimes. Some. What's up, Dennis? I just don't get it.
It's all about falling into the, or, you know, getting into the rhythm of it. What it's yeah.
There's that. That's the one thing I do have that is something that I was born with that I cannot teach people, and that's timing. My timing is unbelievably immaculate, right? If I take too much pride in any one thing, it is timing. Because anything is funny if it's dropped at the right time. Yeah. You got to wait for that part of the conversation where it works.
So for me, I have these time bubbles where I'll be passing through a moment in time where my timing is perfect as far as making people laugh or something's concerned. Like it's when I don't even intend to do it, you know. It's not even really intended to make anybody laugh. And generally, the funniest statements are the ones that are true.
Yeah.
Nowadays, comedy is just stating reality as it is. That is comedy.
I gotta give the writers of reality a real heads up on this past couple of weeks. They have really stepped up their game, and I don't appreciate it.
What's that with?
The news over the past 3 weeks has been such a hellscape cycle of news that I'm not happy with the writers of reality. I really want to talk to the developers. Those people are working overtime and we need to give them a break. The Onion has been writing reality for the past couple of weeks and I am upset by that.
It's a snowball effect, basically. They took the training wheels and the stabilizers off, and they just gave it a little push down the hill. And now we're about halfway down the hill, and there's no
we're living a slippery slope fallacy.
It's picked up so much momentum, energy, and momentum that it's kind of unstoppable where it's going now. It will get there.
Yeah, I mean, like, but what are we supposed to do? I can go put on my tinfoil hat if I need to, but I mean, I'm afraid that my Alex Jones right jar has just paid for my kids to go to Chuck E. Cheese. So
I mean, Alex Jones being right does not mean that Alex Jones
I got one for you.
is right. You know that, don't you? You know that
Joy
Alex
Reid.
Jones being right about some stuff doesn't mean that Alex Jones is right about everything. Should be,
I get that, but I want to point out something that should be very obvious to everyone in the world, but is not for some reason. Alex Jones was sued for $1 billion, found guilty.
It was actually more than that, wasn't it?
Hold
Yeah,
on,
but
let me finish. Alex Jones was sued for $1 billion and found guilty of doing exactly the same thing Joy Reid did on her show.
Yeah.
But I don't hear an outcry about that.
Dude, Joy Reid sits there being racist about white people who and cultural appropriation with her blonde wig on.
There's some cold horses running down the beach this morning for her hair.
It's like, and now she's shaved her head. Like, it's like she got, when she started being compared to Trump, she shaved it, didn't she? Or she stopped wearing the wig. She didn't shave it, she just stopped wearing the fucking Trump wig.
Orange woman bad.
that side of reality, the fact that
all right, this is probably going to come in a little bit hot. I'm giving you an earphones warning right now. I'm going to do Alex Jones for a minute. Okay, just saying that because when I start doing Alex Jones, it comes out a little bit harder than I intended to. See, every time you turn around, they're turning some other form of freaking nature all the way gay. And there's nothing we can do about it because it's in the water, it's in the clouds, it's in the cloud seeding. You got to watch all the demons when they come out of their eyeballs and get inside your mouth. Can't do it long because it sounds so right to me. It makes me giggle.
I did an Alex Jones impersonation the other day, and it was the other week, and it wasn't that bad. I really want to be able to do this guy, man.
You can take my ears, but you cannot take my liberty. They want to cut off my ears like the Taliban, but what they don't know is my ears can grow back. Like SpongeBob through budding, by the way. Hit me with your best shot, why don't you? Because if that's the best you got, you're a loser. You're such a loser, you missed so bigly, by the way. You had a big opportunity. You could have made my head blow up on TV, but you didn't do that, did you? Now my ear is going to grow back bigger and better. It will have better hearing. I will hear like an owl.
I wish I could do Trump, man.
See, the thing is, if I did that with Alex Jones, they'd boot me off of YouTube. If I tried Alex Jones shorts and I put Alex Jones picture up there, my ass would be going so fast there'd be a vacuum where I used to be.
Well, Alex Jones, I'm sure I've seen him on YouTube. Yeah, he's back
Are
on
you
YouTube
sure
now,
about that? Like, you can find a few of his old rants and you can find a little bit of this and that, but I'm pretty sure if a fresh new Alex Jones riff were to come out of left field, they would mute me from freaking orbit. Why? I don't even really know. I don't follow the guy that much. It's just, he's funny to me. I find him humorous, a performative comic, and it's freaking funny. So
Alex Jones is 100% gatekeeper, controlled opposition, even if he doesn't fucking realize it himself, even if his own hubris stops him from recognizing the fact that he is being used. Because although he talks some truth about some stuff, there's other stuff that he's talking so far out of his ass. It's like, and if he even realizes that what he's talking is fantasy bullshit. It will never be real. It's never been real. It's a false perception, but there's so many people buying into it. it's a misrepresentation of a reality, but because everybody's perception of that reality is a fake reality. It's not what reality is, what they're portraying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
I'm talking mainly about the alien. It's mainly the alien shit, like the aliens from fucking other planets and all that bollocks.
As far as other planets are concerned, not sure about that, but the interdimensional elves are real. I don't know what they are. I don't like calling them elves, but
dude,
okay.
the second you call it an elf, you've given it its in my reality, I am right about this. I don't know about anybody else's fucking experience, right? But my perception is extremely important, and I'm able to change my perception. And whatever my perception is how whatever it is that is unseen, or, you know, not of this world, this physical world that we're in, that's how it comes through, because that's what my perceptive filters are doing to it. It's not of this world. It's not authorized basically to be materially manifest in this realm. Humans are, but these things are these interdimensional these unseen entities.
My brother
right?
calls them outrocks, interdimensional worms of ill repute.
Right, and I call them cheeky monkeys.
Okay.
Because cheeky monkey is so less threatening. Because their main tool, their main weapon, their main leverage is fear.
Yeah.
So any narrative about them that has fear attached to it gives them, through your own free will, you're giving them power.
My first experience with whatever that is over there, you know, of course involved some heavy hallucinogens, and I was heavily hallucinogenated, if you will. And I was riding with a dude, taking him somewhere. I was giving directions and whatnot, and we had no problems with that. But when we got there, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle about where to park because all the parking spots were taken. So we had to go and sit at a neighbor's house for a little while things got shuffled around so there'd be somewhere for us to park. Somebody had pulled in like all wild scooter sideways and took up like 9 spaces with his freaking van. So we were like, move your shit so we could park. Anyway, he gets out and wanders over to the Porta-John that was, you know, over there, and for the 20 minutes or 2 seconds, I couldn't tell you that he was gone. I was sitting there looking up at the sky and the trees and the clouds and everything, and then this guy asked me, "How can you stare at me?" So because I could see you. He said, "You shouldn't." Why not? I will not answer that question. And I was like, okay. Climbed out of the back of the Jeep, went and took me a pee, and came back, climbed in the Jeep, was like, "On, James. I'll talk to you later, Mr. Skybeam. Y'all have a nice day." And I went on with what I was doing and ignored the dude in the sky. But he wasn't, let me be clear about this. He wasn't God. He wasn't in the sky. He wasn't on the earth. It was something not quite here nor there, and it was
like
not
you were seeing into a different dimension, into a.
It's like my brain couldn't make sense of what I had seen, and so created it from things that I knew what were. Right. So while I was having all these weird visuals of like Aztec drawings in the universe and all that stuff, like it was all comprised of pigments and shape and wavelengths and stuff like that. In the middle of all
geometric patterns and
yeah. In the middle of all that, suddenly there was a cohesive form, like looking at one of those magic eye paintings. Like you have to have the right perspective.
Yeah, where it just suddenly goes, "Yoop." Oh,
that's the picture. Was there. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And it was obvious it had been there the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't create it. I just noticed it somehow in a way that I'm not supposed to be able to notice things, and I did. And then it was like, okay. So when I sobered up later, I was sitting around thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know how to quantify the experience that I had. Everybody was like, well, you know, you was on mushrooms, you was on acid, you were on whatever. I understand that part. The issue I have is, if I created all of that, why didn't I know I was doing it while I was doing it? If I'm doing it, how do I do it without knowing that I'm doing it?
Right. So have you read, I can't remember what it's called. I've got it. It's about DMT by Rick Strassman. Shit, what's it called? Yeah, DMT, the spirit molecule, by Rick Strassman, medical doctor. Did a 5-year, an atheist, did a 5-year study on DMT, intravenously injecting it into, patient subjects. Subjects for study. And he concluded very definitely that the spirit realm is a real place, like the dream world, where people go when they're on hallucinogenics. Where they go is a real place that has real entities in it.
It can be independently observed by multiple people over time. That's the disturbing part.
And whilst they're not the stories, the testimonies are similar. They're not exactly the same, but there are huge similarities. But like, some people see bugs, and some people like bug people. All of them were saying the same thing, that they felt like they were with their mother, and they were safe. Like the people that were getting eaten by these bugs, eaten alive on the table by these huge, great big bug-like beings, but the whole time there was no feeling of fear or anything like that. It was some really crazy testimonies from the experiences. But every experience, he said, the brain is like a sponge. Like with everything else, there are these receptors. There's 1, 2, 4, whatever receptors for different things, like cannabinoids and THC and different things. Except for DMT, the entire brain is a receptor for it. So it just, the entire brain sucks it up, and it means that it doesn't matter how big the dose is. Really, it will only last for about half an hour when it's done intravenously through the blood. So if you drink ayahuasca, your trip lasts for like 4 hours. But if you're just doing it pure DMT into the bloodstream, half an hour maximum, and then within half an hour you can go again. It doesn't have a detrimental effect. It's only the psychological. So if you're cool with it, there's no detrimental effects on the body for you to do it again half an hour later. So he had people doing really hard trips, and then again, half an hour later, because they have a breakthrough in that first one, and so they want to continue it and go deeper, basically.
I don't know, man. I was always a fairly open-minded kind of individual. I realized early on that there's more to the world than perception, but perception is all you can know of the world. And so your personal perception is the most important aspect of your psyche, because if you fail to perceive things, you may as well be blind to it, if that makes sense. So, or it sort of has it can present itself to you its own way out of what you already perceive.
Right? If something happens that you're not used, that you've not ever experienced before, you'll use what perception you have and what references you have to try to decipher what it is that just happened to you.
It's
So
like the
let's say-
sky meat. I don't know what it was, and I couldn't describe it to you if I tried, but I can kind of give you a general concept of how I perceived it.
Right.
It wasn't like a man standing in the sky, and it wasn't like one of those old weird early Disney cartoons, and the sky didn't have eyes and a mouth and stuff, but all of the things, if you will, the atoms of the universe were manipulated by something that wasn't me and wasn't perceptible to the people around me, so that I witnessed something happen and understood what was being imparted. He didn't speak to me.
No, but it sounds like what happened is your conscious awareness became aware of whatever it was, and it seemed to have a male. You gave it a male. You described it as a he. So he didn't speak to you. So it didn't have a male. Did it have a male voice? Did it actually speak?
The
hear
voice had something of a baritone and authority that I can't explain.
Did you audibly hear it, or did you hear it in your mind?
No, it was just something that I knew. Like, I know that it's a powerful being in relation to myself, but at the same time, I am so negligent as to be an ant on a sidewalk in another city.
So, what I mean, I can make in a similar way, that's what happened when I spoke to my higher self. Right? I looked in the mirror, but what I saw was not me looking back at me, although it was me looking back at me. And then when it spoke to me, but didn't speak to me, and I had a conversation, a two-way conversation, but it wasn't speaking, but he was. I just knew what he was saying, even though he wasn't saying. You know what? Like the same way. You can't describe it. You can't describe. You hear the voice in your head. Was it no? Was it what? What's
the implication?
Was a male voice. How do you know it was a male? I don't know. I just know it was a male. It was.
It felt
it was
male,
male.
I guess I could say.
Right.
What interested me most was the fact that I was just sitting there doing my own personal planning of how I was going to go inside and talk to everybody and get everything set up for the little thing we were doing later on. And so I wasn't even consciously in the Jeep that I was riding in. I was just thinking about what I was going to be doing later that afternoon, how to set up the sound, just kind of pre-gaming the whole thing. When I realized that there's this thing, and it's really close by and also far away. And when I noticed it, I kind of thought in a certain way. And that certain thought of realization that, wait, I have perceived a thing I cannot perceive. That realization seemed to trigger the entity to turn and observe me. And in that observation came the baleful glare of universe. It was like not viewing into the abyss, but having the abyss look back and knowing. It was a very strange sensation, but it did not frighten me for two reasons. One, it didn't appear to be solid at all. What visual effects were there was more ephemeral, breezes, leaves blowing, things like that. But the implication, the sensation of the communication was like talking to someone who is actually very, 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 very far away, that you can see through a spyglass, but you're talking to them on a cell phone right here. And so they sound like they're right next to you, but they're way far away. And that's the kind of perception I got of the situation. Was like, he could crush me if he wanted to, but he'd have to get in a car and drive all the way across state to get over here to where I'm at, so he can come step on my aunt on the sidewalk in another city, I felt safe, not because it was a nice being, but because I was not worth the effort it would take to do it. And so I just kind of shrugged that whole concept off and went on with what I was doing that day. We had a great show that night, by the way. It was pretty good.
It's my perception that like basically as human beings, we are the most if you think about the vessel as a form of technology, nature is the vessel is electrical signals. Electrical signals are what power your vessel. So in that sense, it's technology. And in that sense, it is the most sophisticated advanced technology that exists on this earth. Because we're more advanced, we're more technologically advanced as vessels than animals. Animals can't hold a train of thought. They can't, they're self-aware, but they're not. They don't have the same brains. Their brains don't work the same way. They're not able to speak. They don't have vocal cords and tongues and teeth and all of these things. In that sense, if you think about the human body as a technical, as a robot, as a organic robot, so like what Elon Musk is trying to emulate, what he is aiming towards, to recreate the human body, but by his own design. That's all he's doing with this whole fucking AI robotics thing. That's all we're doing, is we're trying to mimic what already exists. We are the most technologically advanced beings as just by being here. So by that respect, within this realm was created for us to basically build and expand and experience reality in a physical, this lower vibration physical thing. So our consciousness is not who you are, who you really truly are, is not your avatar, and it can go outside of your avatar. It can go away from your avatar.
I think it's still you. Too. That has happened to me. When I was born with a bone spur on my left arm, and it interfered with some of the blood flow from that main artery that comes out of the heart and goes down your arm. And it would cause me to pass out occasionally for no explicable reason. And it took a while for us to realize why. And we didn't make the connection. This is absurd. I got a puppy. We had the puppy for a couple of months, and this puppy would break into my bedroom while I was sleeping, climb into the bed, pull the blanket off of me, roll. He was a Great Dane, so he was like 80 pounds. He would push me over in the bed and start chewing at the spot on my arm where I had that bone spur. And the first time it happened, I just, threw the dog out of the bed, locked him back out, went back to sleep. The second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. After seventh time he did it, I looked at my wife and said, "Make me an appointment for the doctor." She's like, "Why?" "I've got to get this thing on my arm checked out." She's like, "Okay, is it causing a problem?" I said, "No, my dog don't like it." She said, "Okay." I was working night shift at the time, so arranging a doctor's appointment was kind of difficult. So it took me a couple of weeks to get in. When I walked in, I was actually like 4 hours early because I was walking dead. I'd just gotten off work, and so I was actually staying up at really, really late for me to get to this appointment as it was. And I walked in and told him, I was like, "Look, I can come back in 4 hours, but I might not, because I might pass out, because I've been up for almost 2 days working." And she's like, "Oh, well, that's, terrible. Let's see what we can do." And the doctor comes out and goes, "Sasquatch, is there a specific reason you come to talk?" I said, "Yes, sir. My dog doesn't like this bone spur on my arm." Like 8 hours later, I was in surgery. Like, that man turned and picked up the phone, called someone and said, "I've got a gentleman here with a growth on his arm that his dog doesn't like." Right. It's open. Okay. I'm sending him right over. I had MRI, x-rays, all kinds of other stuff. And they came to the conclusion, this has been observed once before in human history. an actual sample was available but was not taken because it was on a 60-something-year-old man in the South Philippines back when they did the Trinity experiments and whatnot, and they had to move all those islanders. One of those guys had this defect, but they didn't get a sample. And so they asked me, they're like, we'll remove it and we'll do it as cheaply as we can, as well as we can, but we would like to keep it as a sample because we don't have an example of this. And I was like, man, I don't give a damn what you do with it once it's gone. Just make sure you put my shit back right and we'll be good. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, you just be like, yeah, all right, that's okay. Just make sure that whatever it costs is whatever you're going to pay me for it. And then we're all done, aren't we? You take it off for free and you can keep it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I ended up paying next to nothing for that surgery. It went through almost completely under insurance. So I think I had to pay like a $75 deductible or some shit. I can't remember. It wasn't much. It was so negligible I can't even remember it. I remember not paying, not what it cost. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a thing. When I was on the table, all right. So when I come in to do the surgery, I come in, they did all the fluids and stuff. They kept me for the 24 hours and then they hit me with the stuff. And she's like, I want you to count back from 100. I've been on various types of intoxicants since I was 12 years old. And I got to like 25 counting backwards. And I remember the old lady that was running the anesthesia looked at me and went, oh, you're a tough one. And if she fiddled with something, I was gone. That was the end of that. Suddenly, at some point in time later, I was standing in an operating theater. My doctor was standing to my left. This very small, very, very tiny Asian woman was sitting on a stool. And there was
all Asian women are tiny, man.
Yeah, no, she was exceptionally tiny. I would almost call her a midget, except she wasn't, if you get what I'm saying. She was a normal person, but quite small, quite light, and even small for Asians. Anyway, I looked over at her, and she's fiddling with something on this gurney thing that's in front of me, and they've got some dude's arm laid out in front of them, and they've got his arm opened up, and I went, wow, I've got that same problem. Hey, man, is that the kind of thing that I got going on? And no one responded to me. And I looked at the little lady and I was like, can you hear me? And I tried to snap my fingers and realized my fingers wouldn't snap. And then I started getting a little scared and I was like, wait a second, what the hell's going on here? And this goes on for about 2 minutes, maybe long enough for me to kind of look around and get real freaked out. And then I opened my eyes during the surgery and looked that woman straight in the eye and said, well, that's really creepy. And she goes, I'm sorry, sir. And hit something on the thing, and my ass was out again. Days later, I come back for a checkup, and they asked me if anything strange, if I remembered anything odd, because it's part of the questionnaire they give you after surgery. Do you remember anything from this point, that point, this point, that point?
I never got those questionnaires after my surgeries, man.
I don't know, probably because I was in corporate insurance up to my eyeballs.
Yeah, you got different. The way your healthcare works is way different over there. I didn't have to do it. Like, yeah.
It asked me if I remembered anything, specific or unusual from the surgery, and I wrote out the description of the room, the people in it, and everything I could remember seeing. A couple of days after that, I get a phone call. The receptionist wants me to come in. We're doing another checkup. And I'm like, okay. And I come in, and both of the doctors that was in that room are sitting at the table. And they're like, we want to know what you remember of that surgery. And I was like, well, I remember you standing just to the left of him, and he was actually poking around inside some dude's arm. And this chick over here was humming some tune I can't quite remember. And they looked at each other and looked at me and said, how do you remember that? I went, I don't know. I wasn't in my body. I was standing next to y'all. I tried to talk to y'all, but y'all didn't even notice me. And I tried to talk to her, and she didn't even notice me. And the fear caused me to wake up.
I've never had that happen in surgeries, thankfully. My auntie had an epidural, and she was when she had a C-section. They gave her an epidural, and it didn't work, and she felt absolutely everything that they did, but she couldn't. She was sedated, but she could feel everything. The epidural hadn't worked, but so she couldn't. She was trying to tell them, but she couldn't sort of speak properly, you know? So she was just kind of moaning, and they were just, they were assuming the epidural had worked. And people wake up in their surgeries and shit all the time, man, don't they? I've heard about it. I'm glad I didn't wake up when they were doing my stomach.
The doctor told me that different people have different levels of resistance to the different anesthesias they use. And that the reason they do these questionnaires is because as they acquire new data, my specific birth defect being one of them, right? The second case they've ever seen, they wanted to know as much about the effects on me as possible. Right. And they were extremely intrigued by that. And the conversation went a little something like this. Well, he was probably dreaming, but how did he know you were there? Well, maybe he heard me. Then he wasn't dreaming. Well, he was probably dreaming because the other guy wasn't supposed to be there. He just came through as an observer. He just wanted to see he was witnessing something that had never happened before. And he wanted to see it.
I wonder if they're considering that it's something to do with consciousness, because you don't feel any pain. You're just conscious, aren't you? You didn't feel any pain when you were listening or whatever. Could you feel anything?
As far as feeling stuff, my shoulder felt like it was on fire, and my fingertips of my right hand felt like somebody was poking them with needles. I kept wanting to pick up my arm and look at it, but I couldn't do it. Yeah. But that was, there was one point I remember hearing a really loud tink sound, like very distinctly. I remember that. I remember thinking that they had taken a hammer and used a chisel to knock that bone off. And I thought that was the most retarded thing I'd ever thought of at the time. But that's what I pictured in my head. And when we did the interview later and I mentioned it, the doctor was like, no, we dropped the pan.
Right.
I was like, okay, that makes sense.
I forget when it was. It was years ago, man. It was like 2006, 2007. They needed to remove some screws from my legs, so they did it under a local anesthetic. And I'm sat there waiting, and they literally brought out a fucking, a drill. Just brought this drill out, and the fact that they're doing all this, and I can feel it all, but there's no pain at all. It just, it just feels, I can feel my leg being moved around and all that, and I can see they've cut the skin, and they're in there, and I can see the screw, and then they just get this drill out. I wasn't expecting a fucking, like they're going to drill into the wall. Get this drill out, put the new bit in it, and then start drilling, and I can feel it all, my legs shaking and vibrating, and I just started laughing, and once I started laughing, I couldn't stop, and it became almost a hysterical laugh. But because I was laughing so much, I'm shaking, and he's like, can you stop laughing? Can you stop laughing? Because it kept popping out of the, it was making it harder for him to do his job. But yeah, man, that's the only time any sort of surgery.
Did I ever tell you about that trip to the burn unit?
No.
I got a burn. Okay, so I was living in this really crappy freaking house, and everything in it was broken. And so part of the agreement when we moved in was to try to fix as much as we could, and then we'd get some money to fix it, and yada, 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 right? Terrible deal. I was on the bottom end of this, and I knew it. One of the things that was broken was one of the eyes on the stove. I replaced the eye. I checked out the wires. I checked out the knobs. Everything seemed to be functioning just fine, and it still wouldn't work, right? So I pulled out the little module, checked it out. It seemed to be fine. There wasn't anything obvious wrong with it. And so I put it back together, turned off everything, and was going to go get a new module for it tomorrow. Right? Turn it off, walk out the room. And when I come back in, the eye that has not worked in years is blazing hot with a pan of fish grease sitting on it. And as I'm like step in the room and go, oh shit, and realize it burst into flames like a freaking nuclear bomb on that stove. Have you ever seen a grease fire catch without a spark? Just poof, right? So poof, the whole room fills up with fire.
Not with grease, but with fat, just with fat. Right?
Same thing. It's very similar reaction. Yeah. So the whole room kind of fills up with fire and then smoke immediately. And I walked over, tried to turn off moved it off the eye, but it's got like a 4-foot flame sticking out of it, right?
Wet
towel.
Wet
tried to turn off the eye. The towel I had was one that had been used when we were moving the this is so stupid. When we were moving the stove, there was a bunch of grease around the back of it, and I had used a towel to wipe down all of that old crudded up grease and stuff. And so this towel was essentially a big ass torch.
That's why fire blankets in the kitchen are a really good idea, man.
They really are.
They're really good idea.
My first thought was to throw the little hand towel over the top of it. When I realized that I spread it out, it's covered grease. I'm like, that's not going to work. Plus, it's not quite big enough, really. And I didn't really trust it to do the job, but turn into a flaming ball of fabric. And so I didn't do it. Instead, I wrapped the towel up around my hands, grabbed the end of the pan, and I was 5 steps from a door outside where there is absolutely nothing that can burn.
Holding it at arm's length like that, fucking what?
Yeah. I get 4 steps off. I'm less than 2 steps from the door. The neighbor's kids had seen the smoke and come running up to the back door to come look. And I realized I can't go out that door. So the other side of the room, there's this big ass window. There's nothing out there but a little bit of grass, and this guy would rather have a burnt patch of grass than a burned down house. So I started in that direction when his idiot brother was one of those weird guys who would show up and just climb through a window because it was open. You ever met any of these people? Like, they exist. They're real people. They're like Brother Man from the from Martin.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm headed towards there, and he looks through, and I wanted to work him over. He looked inside and saw me carrying fire to the window, stood up, and then stepped through the window and stood there. Pulls a pack of cigarettes out of his pocket, sticks it in, and goes, "You got a light?"
You got a light.
About that time, the grease popped. Some of it got on my face, some of it run down my arms, but the flaming part of it got on the towel that was wrapped up around my hands, and that thing went off like freaking napalm, bro. Like, it was amazing. And so I
turned your arm into a human torch.
Physically on fire, burning. And I reached down and set the pan down carefully on the floor. And about time I stood up, the guy who owned the house walked in with a damp towel and just threw it over the top of it, because it took him just that long. And I picked my hands up, looked at him, and I was on fire from about right here down to my palms. And I turned them over, looked both ways. The guy who had just asked me if I had a light, I said, "Yep, sure do." He kind of smiles, but he also has this horrified look on his face because I'm literally on fire. And I reached over and stuck my hands into the dishwater that was there and put them out, and then backed out of the room and sat down. And I think I passed out for about 5 minutes because when I
imagine it was your hands
still on fire.
Right. But I imagine it like, because you wouldn't have been able to wrap completely. There would have been skin exposed and your fingers and stuff, wouldn't there?
So my palms were fine. This part was okay. The burn started on the back, right at the end of my fingernail on each finger, and completely took off the back and down the back side of this arm and this arm like that.
Yeah.
Now, you can kind of sort of see it a little bit.
But you're lucky. You're lucky it wasn't this side. It's like, it's weird, isn't it, that this side of the arm is so much more sensitive than this side.
So I go.
There or something.
I go to the unit in Augusta. Augusta takes one look. I'm not Augusta, in Dublin. Dublin takes one look at me and gives me some heavy drugs and sends me to the burn unit in Augusta. I get there, and when I come in and sit down, I'm walking around, and all I've got is like one of those like gel pack thingies. I don't know what they are. They're like a gel covered bandage, but it's not really a bandage. It's just a bit of fluff with some gel in it, and they had that shit wrapped around my hands. And I walked in and sat down, and they were like, okay, how did this happen? And we went through the whole thing. And of course, I am freaking out because like I just caught on fire a couple of minutes ago. And so like I'm not in my best state.
Did you have a beard?
No. I actually, it was luckily enough, I actually had I was bald at the time.
Right, because if that were to happen now, your fucking face would catch on fire as well.
Damn right. So I go in and sit down, and the chick comes over with the little tool of torture devices they're going to use or whatever, and they set it down because they have to debride all the dead skin and dead flesh off the back of my hands so they can try to do some kind of skin graft or something, And so they come in with all the tools of destruction and everything they're going to use on me and set it down. And the doctor says something I didn't catch, and I asked her, what did he say? And she says, you'll be fine. Just, it'll be a few minutes and we'll get back to you. And 10 or 15 minutes, she comes over. The doctor comes over, pokes at me, and was like, how's that? I said, it sucks. He's like, how's that? It sucks. How's that? I really don't like it. He's like, okay, you can start.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Right. And like at this point, we're hitting 11.5 every year.
I was going to say, yeah. 12? What's that? 12!
14, damn it. 27. What? Anyway, so I'm sitting there. He tells her to go ahead. She uncovers my hands. They take a look at it. He kind of picks at it with a few things. And he's like, okay, go ahead. And she picks up, and I'm not joking. This thing looked like the fish scaler you get out of an Ace. One of those cheap, like $2 cheapest fish scalers you ever saw. That's what it looked like, but in titanium or stainless steel or something. It was very sleek. And she takes that thing and goes, and the very second it touched my skin, I started maniacally laughing like the Joker and could not stop. Because she was like, and looked at me, and I went, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. And she did it again, and I did it again. And then she called the doctor back over. And he walks over and looks at her, looks down, and moves the towel out of the way. And there was a whole line of painkillers I was supposed to have already taken. Like, get him to take these and then try again.
I haven't been burned, but I had to. Obviously, my left leg is all skin grafts because of the double fasciotomy. They couldn't close either fasciotomy, so they had to. It was all skin graft, and they took that all from my thighs. I was in a coma at the time, so I don't remember this, but I've got my mum and dad's testimony of it. They said it was like a cheese slicer. You know when you can just
grater, a cheese grater. When they take the thing, that's a cheese slicer. When they take your skin off to get rid of it, that's used called a debrider, and it looks like a fish scaler.
But apparently they took off these like slices of skin and then put them into some almost like a pestle and mortar and mush it all up with something else and then lay it as skin. They don't just take the skin from one bit and put it on a new bit. They have to mix it with something. They mixed it with something before they put it on that. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty.
I just keep every now and then I think about the look on that lady's face when I started laughing, or the poor bastard over here that was in the other little thing over there that I could see that had been burned on like 60% of his upper body. And when I started laughing, he sat up and turned and looked at me, and his nurse freaked out, like, stop moving. He's like, "What's that going on?"
Yeah,
I was like, "I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. I won't do it again." And she hit me with it, and I did it. Good God, son, that's a good one.
That's on there's the one on the other side is bigger, but yeah,
That's my best one. You can't even see it no more on the. It's so light. It's barely
yeah.
noticeable.
Where that's all skin graft there, but it's now the same color as the rest of my skin. For years and years, it was like purple, deep purple,
On the backs of my
purpley
hand,
red.
I have some patches of skin like, in a few spots, like right here on this knuckle. For some reason, that spot didn't get burned. I have a spot about the size of a dime that is the original skin on the back of my hand. And when I rub my fingers across it, that skin feels totally different from inside, but has no physical texture difference whatsoever. Like everything else is super duper sensitive, but that spot, I can put a cigarette out on that thing and it won't hurt me.
That's the other side. My fucking leg is so white, man. But yeah, that's the other side.
Look like you're gonna get moon burn if you hang it out there too long.
Yeah, nah, that's right, man. But my leg is it's all a different shape now. It's not just bone. Like when you look in the X-ray, the calcification all around here, because the bone was in 3 bits. So
right,
it's like my bone's over calcified and just fucking. It's this huge lump now. My shin is a huge lump. Yeah, I was in a car accident, Claire.
Oh, he was in a good one. If you want to have the whole story about that, go look way back in the early days of my channel. We did an interview, and he went over the whole one of them at least.
Do you know the funny thing is, it wasn't
better
that.
show.
Yeah, because I've had 2 serious car accidents, but the other scar is my stomach. But the one that we did was suggested to me about, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks ago. It got suggested to me. I was like, oh, look at that.
I'm telling you, dude,
Sasquatch.
that thing has been sitting in my backlog, plugging away a couple of few views a month for years. Like, I don't know why that is. It's just every couple of days or weeks, there'll be another couple of views on it. And these people, they're not just checking it out and hitting the like or whatever. They watch it. They watch the whole thing. My average view time on that particular episode is like 43 minutes, and I think that's the length of that story.
Yeah, I haven't gone and looked at the comments, man.
I've never even seen a video with that type of viewer retention. Even though the traffic isn't very high, the individuals spending 45 minutes watching that bit of that video.
I'll tell you what, mate, right? Jason Brashears, the watch time on Jason Brashears' videos must be just fucking sick. Like he'll be pulling in 2-hour watch times on his on his stuff. It's like, I know I sit there and watch. I've sat there and just watched hours and hours and hours of his stuff. I mean, I do that. I'm somebody that has the time to do that, to sit there and binge watch stuff for hours and hours and hours. Like sit there and watch 18 hours worth of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then go to sleep.
I have really bad tinnitus.
Me too.
Like my ears ring like crazy.
Dude, me too. So, both my ears. I've got 2 tones in one in the other, and the tone swaps. And sometimes one gets louder. Sometimes it gets painful how loud it is. It's like you can taste metal. It's really weird. Yeah,
the way I deal with it is I have an earbud in one ear, and whichever one's the loudest currently, I'll stick the earbud on that ear, right? I have been mostly deaf for the past 3 weeks, thinking that I was just going deaf. And I sneezed the other day and popped my right ear. And then last night, my left ear popped. And suddenly everything is ridiculously loud everywhere.
So you might need to go and get your ears syringed. Just might be an earwax thing.
I have holes in my eardrums. They put them in there when I was young. because
Perforated.
no, they put them in there.
Yeah,
Little-
but they deliberately perforated your ear.
because I produced too much inner ear fluid, and it was causing it to like pop, and then they'd have to repair it and it would pop again. So they just did a thing. And so every now and then they just don't drain like they're supposed to, and I'll go deaf for a couple of days or weeks until something happens that balances the pressure out. Suddenly I can hear like an owl.
I get I'll go not deaf, but you know, like somebody like it is wax. Like I've just got somebody's just stuck a wax earbud in my ear, and so I can hear myself in one ear all the time, and it's really, if I can't, sometimes you can pop it. So it's like being on an aeroplane. It's that sort of blocked, and it feels like it needs to pop, but I can't pop it, and it's and it's like it for.
It drives me crazy.
The worst time is when I'm
byproduct-
singing. When I'm singing, that's the worst
can
time
imagine.
for it to happen, man.
That might even be part of the reason why I don't sing at all.
Because like I can put a finger in an ear to be able to tell if I'm singing in tune, to hear myself. It helps me hear myself. But when it's not my finger that's doing it, when it's whatever it is, it's just so fucking annoying. I just need to clean my ears more often. I might like my dad would say, Richard, you got fucking spuds growing in your ears, boy.
Yeah,
Taters.
The freaking tinnitus is so bad that I just keep an earbud in my ear. Like right now, I'm listening to an audio book.
Dude, did you not hear when I said about that time when I focused on the ringing and I meditated on the ringing in my ears on the tinnitus, and I transported to my consciousness transported to a room or a place. It was a dark place where all these single eyes, not two eyes, single eyes all around, and at different times, not all together, at different times, opening, sort of looking at me, and then another one would open, that one would close again, another one would open and look at me and close, and there was reptilian eyes, there were human-like eyes, there were evil-looking eyes, and then somebody said, like, not audibly, but there was a voice that thought in my head, what do you want? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Basically.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, just why are you here? What are you, like?
That was
I wasn't
the question
supposed to
from
be.
Sky.
I wasn't. They just weren't. Well, they weren't expecting me to be there, and I asked for something, and they granted me it, and it scared the fucking shit out of me because of just the immense feeling of responsibility that I had when I had what I asked for. So it was suddenly like, oh, it wasn't about having this knowledge and this power. It was about how much fucking responsibility was on my shoulders now I had it, because I could just accidentally kill people. But not thinking about, or rather, basically getting a better idea of exactly what it was I was asking for. And knowing that I wasn't ready for what I was asking for. And I said, well, no, you're right. Have it back. You know when I'll be ready for it. You keep hold of it for the time being. And that's exactly what I did. And then I came out of there. And it was like, it's like in a fucking movie. Because you just go, and suddenly you're back in the room. And back in the room. Who is it that says that? It's a hypnotist, isn't it? Is it Darren Brown?
I remember hearing it, but I don't remember who did it.
Come on, Chapman. I'm just going to take a very brief opportunity to, because, just because, Grift, if anybody wants to help me out, getting some nice food so I can stop looking like a ghoul and eat more regularly than once a day. The link is in the description for my PayPal. It's my only source of income at the moment. Unable to work, and YouTube won't monetize my channel because they hate me.
If you can drop it in the back chat, I'll drop it on my channel.
You don't have to drop it on your channel, dude. If people want to do that,
Consider this: no one can
drop a
donate.
link to my channel. Hey,
I have been. But consider that
Angela came
no one
over.
can donate to me. So anybody attempting to donate to me would find your Cash App or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's PayPal. I wish I could get Cash App, but it's not available in my region.
Dude, I got Cash App and it immediately broke. Like, it let me put $30 on it, and then every donation that came in immediately bounced back, and I was told that I was a scam account.
Yeah.
It took me 2 months to figure it out, for me to actually get somebody on the phone that can tell me what the actual problems. Oh, you've been flagged as a scam account. Well, I'm not a scam account. They're like, well, that's not really the issue. The issue is when you did the photograph of your card thing, it was blurry, or it didn't match the number on the card or something, like the number you put in. Maybe
So
you
it's
did
like,
something.
why didn't you fucking tell me that, and then we could have cleared that little issue up?
I could have done that that night. No one could tell me what was wrong with it. But there was an interesting byproduct. When you donated to me, I got your real name and address, email, and all that stuff, and so that was neat. Oh, I was messing with a dude the other day. I was trying to get him in to come in for an interview, and he's like, well, I don't really do email so much. So if you want an interview, you're going to have to text me. But he didn't give me his number, right? So I sat around for like a day thinking about it. I went, I bet there's something somewhere that he attached.
Love you, Mel. Have a great day, babe. Thank you. Sorry, there wasn't more music. We're back tomorrow. Back tomorrow with just for music tomorrow. Go on. Sorry, carry on, mate.
So I thought about it for a minute, and I went and found his email. I backtracked his email and found out that he had an earlier Instagram attached to the same email. Found the Instagram, and he had linked his phone number to that Instagram. And then I sent him a text, and he was like, oh yeah, cool. And we scheduled it up and got ready to do it and everything. Now, like 2 or 3 days goes by. Then he asked me, how'd you get my number anyway? Like, how? I'm an old troll, bro. There are old trolls and there are bold trolls. There are no old, bold trolls.
Yeah.
If you're bold enough, you get deuced from orbit so many times that you either eventually chill out or move to Rumble.
I've stopped bothering with Rumble because it's just such a extra hassle. Fucking
Pain in the
sorting
butt
out.
to use.
And they're not, except I saw, who was it? Might have been Redacted, actually. Redacted were putting Rumble comments up on their YouTube YouTube thing. I thought, all right, are they linked with Rumble now? But I don't think they are. StreamYard aren't. Because I thought, I don't know, it seemed like they were using StreamYard.
The way to make a Rumble stream work, StreamYard and YouTube are very closely related, and StreamYard will support Rumble, but will not link to Rumble automatically. So where you used to be able to
use the
go
custom
get RTMP key,
yeah,
you can't do that with StreamYard and Rumble anymore. Now you have to go in and get the temporary key for every individual stream. But it'll do it semi-automatically once you've done the basic linking, right? You go to Rumble and create the live stream like you're going to do it just on Rumble. Then you come back to StreamYard and link it back to the live stream you just made. But you cannot schedule a live stream on Rumble further out than 24 hours. So if I have a show next week, I can't schedule it next
it's
week.
the comments, though.
Do it.
it's the link in the comments. The comments coming up in the, in the chat on the
right
hand side there, so that you're able to, so you know what's going on in the other chat as well. Because at least Twitch and Facebook and Instagram and X and whatever you link to, they've got that link with the comments as well. So you see,
right.
Right,
listen, that's all over the map,
dude. It's when did you? Yeah, 24 minutes past. Yeah, I got to finish as well, mate. I got to finish as well. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice one, buddy. Thank you very much for joining me. And shout out to your chat room, Truth Be Told Audits, and Gary Baxter. I know you.
Gary's everywhere.
Shout out to my chat room as well, Claire and Joe and Melanie. Melanie's headed out. Have a great day, my dear. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Much love. Gonna see you tomorrow.
Much love.
Need to get my shit together.
This is the part where you're supposed to end it, bro.
Yeah,
you're supposed to do something neat.
There's two words that are important. One is bro. Hey, bro. Oh, okay, bro. Everything. Come on, bro. Used to be dude. Remember when women would say, hey, dude, they would, well, it's bro. Used to be bruh. Bro. Come on, bro. Let me go, bro. You can't do that, bro. You can't believe it. Overnight. I've never heard this. The second one is the word literally. You don't understand. I'm literally standing here and I literally called you, bro. I literally called you. Nobody is suggesting you didn't literally. I mean, versus figuratively. Yes, I know you go. I'm literally standing here. I'm literally under arrest. Okay, stop saying literally. What does that mean? Really? What do you think that word means? He's literally dead. Yes, I know he's literally. They literally don't understand what the hell they're literally saying, bro. I literally hate it, bro. Literally. I'm sorry. Now you got me doing it. What am I saying? I literally have me saying literally. Literally.
What a fucking liberty!
Oh, they weren't shooting, they really do.
Nan?
I'll take a fucking chill pill, you. Come on, you. I've had enough of all this.
What a load of old shit!